What's happening, people? What's going on? Y'all tuned in to Mind the Major, where I say, use your mind, don't lose your mind, don't get left behind, become a mind, we family over here. Let's see who tap in live with me today. Let's see if I can get anybody to tap in live with me today. Check it out. I went on. Y'all getting that? Y'all getting that? It's real in the field. It's real in the field. It's real in the field. It's the jungle, baby. It's the jungle. Oh, let's see if somebody join me. See, I'm being hands-on with all this stuff I'm saying. If people actually tap in while I'm actually going in live, you know what I mean? There's been a couple people watch the joints. I mean, after I put them up or whatever. But listen, y'all can hear my neighbors in the background. Y'all hear that? Yo, them people is mad crazy. You hear me? Mad crazy. And I'm going to just put this disclaimer out there. I do not have the rights to that argument. I do not own the rights to that argument. You feel me? She said, and you going to jail. And you going to jail, bitch. Tap somebody else in. Go knock on your neighbor's door. Go knock on your neighbor's door. You know that same neighbor that you bought all that sugar from back in the 80s and never paid them back? You know what I mean? Yeah, go bang on their door and say, I ain't got the money for all the sugar I bought from you 20 years ago, but I got something better. Mind the Major going live. Tune in. And his neighbors arguing with each other. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Bang on your neighbor's door. I'll be right here. There's a couple heads up at here. There's a couple heads up at the spot. Y'all tuning in and tuning out and saying, what the hell is this? Who the hell is this? You might not know, but get familiar. Talk to me and I'll talk back. Just know that. I got this device in my hand, so I'm watching. You know what I mean? To see who jump in, jump out, whatever. That type stuff. There. You know what I mean? But I wanted to jump into a couple things or whatever. Give y'all a little story or whatever. You know what I mean? From some things I was thinking about just happened to cross my mind from back in the day. You know what I mean? And I wanted to share it with you good people. You know what I mean? But I would like to have at least a couple here so I won't be talking to myself. Shout out to my man Doug for tapping in last time and making my live interesting. You know what I mean? But don't be scared. Tap in. That's what your keyboard for. Your keyboard is for talking. Talk to me. And I'm going to talk back. You know what I mean? But I ain't going to just keep regurgitating the same old speak, you know what I mean, for the next 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to just jump into this thing. You know what I mean? And this is like one of the stories from the past. Like, I don't know if a person may have caught my last live or whatever, and because I even noticed, I peeped at it or whatever, and I noticed that me sitting in the chair or whatever, I was like, damn, my posture sure is messed up. Why it look like I'm in pain or something, like my side hurting or something. Then it had to dawn on me, like, stupid. Yeah, sometimes I call myself stupid when I ask myself stupid questions that I already know the answer to. But I say stupid. You know what I mean? You know your spine is messed up, right? You know you messed your spine up, right? Back in the day, you know what I mean? So that's why you appear to look like that in your life. Looks like you're bent, you know what I mean? Because you are, you know what I mean? But I'm going to give y'all a story on why it is my posture happens to be this way, all right? Let's take it from the beginning, you know what I mean? I'm from Baltimore, as some would say, Baltimore, Maryland, Baltimore, Murderland. You know what I mean? For those outside of the state, outside of the country, another universe if you're getting this broadcast. Yeah. But what happened, to make a long story even longer, what happened was, it was back in the day. We happened to be out doing what we did, playing around on the block. You know what I mean? So we had this little cut, right? Where we used to hit at. You know what I mean? And for those who know, you know. Share the information with the next person, because I don't feel like explaining all that. But that's what we used to hit at. And this little spot used to be a yard, but it was the back of a hairdresser, but the spot had a little cut, whereas though you could go through this cut and end up on the other side, like the front of this building, right? Now, being that you're gonna hit right there, common sense would say, well, you should have somebody on the other side of that, on the front side of that building, just so them boys can't run down on you. But being though at the time, common sense wasn't all that common, you know, because if you caught any of my last live or whatever, these were the 90s, you know what I mean? These were the nifty 90s, you know, where just like the younger crowd, you know what I mean, do their thing. This is the pill popping generation. We were, let's just say, the Scarface generation, you know? So just like they stay high as a ham sandwich off of perks, we stayed high as a ham sandwich off other things. So being that everyone was high as a ham sandwich, common sense, it didn't dawn on someone of us to say, oh, well, go on that other side and protect that side of the building, right? So we go back there hitting, but my brain might not have been thinking, but my ears were working. So when I heard, that's all I heard was, you know, the radio sound from the like the walkie-talkie, police walkie-talkie. No. You know what I mean? So hearing that, I breaks out, right? I breaks out, and as running through the alley, steps on a brick that was sitting up like on an angle or whatever. I steps up on this brick, right? Twists my leg, right? Now, normally, the normal person would have probably went down. But being that, I'll say it again, being that I was high as a ham sandwich, you know what I mean, didn't feel it as much. But I was limping, right? So, instead of me doing the rational thing and going to get some medical attention, as far as my leg went, nah. You know what I mean? I went to the pharmacy, got an old ace bandage, wrapped that thing around my leg real tight, you know what I mean, to take some of that pressure off of the muscle, you know what I mean, and it made it less painful, and I jumped right back on the block, right? Now, I had this ace bandage on. I'm wearing this ace bandage for maybe like a week or two. Now, we back and forth, we moving block to block, right? Now, we get to one block and an altercation pops off, right? And my cousin, family member, Marcel, he get to fighting my homeboy, Big Denny. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna go into what they was fighting over. Hey, Barbara, you know what I mean? But they get to fight, and I'm trying to break them up, right? Now, both of these people is 200 is on the upper side of 200 pounds, right? Now, as I'm trying to break them up, everybody falls back on me, right? Me not knowing that running from the police that day, I'd actually fractured my femur, right? I actually fractured my femur. Now, with them falling back on me, femur snaps, right? The hell? FEMA snaps, right? Now I'm laying in the middle of the block, right? Leg all twisted up. Didn't know it was broken. Didn't know, we had no idea it was broken until our corner man, Dion, come up the street. You know what I mean? And everybody standing around me trying to figure out what the heck went on or whatever. What happened? My man, Dion, a couple marbles short of a bag. You know what I mean? Was like, get off my man, right? And try to pick me up, right? Dion tried to pick me up, trying to help me out. But it wasn't until then that I realized, you ain't getting up, buddy. You know what I mean? I'm like, put me down, right? Exactly like that. Put me down, right? He puts me down. I look back and see that my leg was like crossed. You know what I mean? But you know how you cross your legs and it kind of looks like a four? Except how that four go, my leg wasn't laying across the other leg. It was laying the opposite direction, right? More like a I and a L, right? Sort of like that, right? So now this joint broke, right? Now, they call the ambulance, whatever. Call the ambulance. But long story short, I end up saying, it's something I got to add to this, right? Bro, little bro, always joking about something, right? Always joking about something. I don't care if you could have just got hit by a car, right? Long as you still breathing, bro gonna make a joke about it. You know what I mean? He's gonna be joking about it. As long as you still breathing, he's gonna be joking about it. And he came down there because somebody just told, yo, your brother laid out in the street, da da da. So first thing came to his mind that somebody done shot me, right? But he gets down there and that ain't the case, right? It's just my leg broke, right? So he see how my leg look, right? He was like, yo, you want some mustard? Right? And I'm like, what the hell is you talking about, yo? Do I want some mustard? You know, because your leg bent up like a pretzel. You want some mustard with that pretzel? Right? And I'm like, yo, this ain't the time for that, right? And he just finding it so hilarious. He's finding it so hilarious, right? Now, it pissed me off because anybody know Sergio Tashini, right? That be the sweatsuits. They coming back. You see some people with them on, but at the time, this was an expensive sweatsuit, right? Back in the 90s, these sweatsuits was like almost $300, right? You know what I mean? What's up, Doug? What's going on, my guy? You know what I mean? Yeah, no doubt. You know what I mean? Now, these sweatsuits was like $300, right? Now, when they put me in the ambulance, right? I'm in there, and the guy talking to me, this, that, and the third. I had a pager on, and I'm asking him. I asked him first. I've asked him. I like, can you when you cut it, because they, you know how they do. They cut your pants and all that stuff. So I'm asking him, can you cut it with the seam? So you know what I mean, I can get, you know what I mean, get the cleaners to try to repair it. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, I feel you, because this is an expensive sweatsuit, right? So as he's doing it, the pager go off, right? So I don't know, I guess this thing went off in his head, like, this guy got a pager and he's on the block. You know what I mean? So he made a statement. I guess he didn't take too kindly to street pharmacists. You know what I mean? So he said, you got a pager on, what are you, a doctor? And I was like, kind of, sort of, you know what I mean? They call me Dr. Feelgood. You know what I mean? So I guess he didn't find that too funny. You know what I mean? And that, right after I said it, he was cutting along the seams at first. And as soon as I said the thing about Dr. Feelgood, he just started cutting diagonally. You know what I mean? Just to tear my whole bottom half of my sweatsuit up, right? So I was like, I caught it. I'm like, okay, it's all fine. Because if he said, well, Dr. Feelgood, it shouldn't matter. You should be able to afford another one of these easily. You know what I mean? And I see where he was trying to be sarcastic. And I was like, you're right. You know what I mean? But he tore my sweatsuit up. Bro came, made the joke about my leg. I end up in the hospital, rawed in the FEMA. You know what I mean? Doctor told me, you're probably going to have a limp, right? But I wasn't feeling that. You know what I mean? I wasn't feeling that. So what I did, me and my bright self or whatever, I'm on crutches for a minute, but as the legs started to heal more and more, and you coming off the crutches, I'm trying to walk, you know what I mean, as if, you know what I mean, not to be, you know what I mean, like I'm a pirate, you know what I mean, with the peg leg, you know what I mean. So eventually I started walking, you know what I mean, with my weight shifted to the one side, where as though it wouldn't appear to the normal eye that I actually had a limp or a leg that was longer, one leg longer than the other one. And over time, my freaking spine, bent to the way that I was walking. And it wasn't until years later, maybe a few years ago, no more than 10 years ago, when I just happened to be, you know what I mean, looking in the mirror and realizing, what the hell? Why I look like my, you know what I mean, spine, why I look like I'm leaning or I'm bent or whatever. The whole time, the genius I am over years of walking like that, I made my spine like that. So if you see that what you coming in the page, you see a video or whatever, and it appears that, oh, he's leaning to the side or whatever, there you have it. You know what I mean? But a lot of people that actually know me will say, well, you got a mean old bop. He always bopping. Every time you can tell that's him, because you see that bop. I ain't bopping, bro. I ain't bopping. You know what I mean? I ain't no Diddy in that bop. You know what I mean? I'm just walking. I just don't want to, you know what I mean? And the thought of a platform shoe is just not my style. You know what I mean? But being on the subject of back in the day play, I'm gonna dive into our little clique, right? Now, at the time or whatever, we had let's just say, we had a nice little run or whatever, nice little thing going on. But we had probably the most bad luck clique that you could ever think of. The clique was just, that should have been the name of our clique. You know what I mean? Yeah, people have cliques. Oh, that's such and such crew, and that was our crew, the bad luck crew, because it seemed like just about everybody that was in our crew, something either happened to them, or I mean, I'm gonna just give y'all a few examples, right? Let's just say, started with members getting locked up, you know what I mean? Just locked up, stuff like that. And you had one of the homies, Maurice, you know what I mean? His homeboy had just got one of the new Camaros that came out. His homeboy had just got a new Camaro, drop top, you know what I mean? Oh, no, yo, I ain't working today. I'm going to hang out with my man. My man just got the new Camaro. We get ready to go hang out. He go hang out with his man, right? One love to my man Maurice, you know what I mean? But they driving, and of course it's a Camaro, so you can imagine dude is speeding in the car, right? He's speeding in the car, a sports car, you know? And some kind of way that they get in an accident, you know what I mean? And it said that Maurice ain't have a seatbelt. I don't know if he had a seatbelt on or whether he didn't have it on. But it said that he actually was ejected from the car. God damn. And ended up hitting the side of a bus, right? And broke his neck, right? And died. You know what I mean? Boom. You got Maurice. Boom. He gone, right? You got my man Buddy. Buddy gets to arguing with somebody on the block. You know what I mean? Goes in the house and bring the burner back outside, right? Love you too, buddy. You know what I mean? But you brings the burner outside, and you know what I mean, like you gonna do this and do that. And then you puts the burner back in the house. And dude comes back and fires him up. You know what I mean? He ended up paralyzed. You know what I mean? He ended up paralyzed and passed away years later. You know what I mean? Due to health problems. You know what I mean? Behind that. You know what I mean? And a lot of us ended up locked up. Me, myself, I caught charge. You know what I mean? Ended up in the house raid. Right after I broke my leg, as soon as I come home, I'm not even home a week. I'm still on crutches. I'm running through the little cash I had put on the side, so I'm like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to spend all my money, you know what I mean? And not had nothing left, so I'm going back on the block, you know what I mean? And put some of this money back, you know what I mean? So I can't run on the block, so next thing, you in the house, you know what I mean? I wasn't supposed to be there. I tell him, man, I tell my homie that's in the house, yo, I'm working the house today. Oh, such and such say you wasn't coming today. Da, da, da. I was like, no, I told him I was coming. Da, 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 da. Right? I come, sits in the house, and before he leaves out the house, he was like, yo, be careful because let's just say right? Let's just say some of the names will be changed to protect the innocent, or maybe not so innocent, right? But he was like, oh, you know what I mean, mad because, you know what I mean, Shorty cut him off or whatever. He said he running around saying that he gonna rob us, da 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 da, right? So while I'm in the house, I come in the house and I do what I do, right? I do what I do, boom, 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 right? Now, granted, I'm not in the house a half an hour, right? I'm not in the house for half an hour. And what happens, right? Now, mind you, I'm sitting in there. It's the Scarface 90s, right? So I'm in there and I did what I do. And I'm sitting in there. Next thing I know, I hear a big ass bang on the front door. Boom, right? So now I snap to, like, I know yo ain't that crazy that he's going to come through the front door, right? That he's going to be trying to come through to bring us a move through the front door, right? So I grabs the thing, and the way the kitchen was, it's a little partition wall where as though you could see the door. So I'm behind the wall. The first time the door got hit, didn't come in. You know what I mean? Didn't open. They hit the door the second time. Door fly open. Boom. Right? First thing I saw, I ain't see face. I ain't see nothing. First thing I saw was that bad swinging from that. First thing I saw was the bad swinging from that chain. Right? And that's all I had to see. That's all I had to see. The gun went behind the gun went behind the stove. You know what I mean? Tossed the gun behind the stove. And I mean, for a person that was just on crutches, you would not have thought I just had an operation, because I wasn't thinking about none of that, wasn't feeling nothing. It was just like one big swift movement. Thing over there, as my hand moved, I was grabbing the lock and the knob at the same time, looking back at the front door. You know what I mean? Seeing what kind of distance I had between me and them. I didn't run down a step. My feet didn't touch their step. As soon as the door came open, I jumped out the door. You know what I mean? As soon as I landed, all I heard was, get your ass on the ground. Right? Get your ass on the ground. I turned around, and I ain't got to say who it was. It was them peoples. Right? So you done. I'm laying on, I lay on the ground. Well, I ain't pretty much lay on the ground. I got thrown on the ground. But by the time the ones that was from the front got to the back, of course they got guns drawn, blah, blah, blah. You know, the first thing he said, I should have shot you. I should have shot you, dumbass. Where is that? I saw it. Where it go at? Right? I don't know what you're talking about, bruh. You know what I mean? I don't have no idea what you're talking about. Right? But I turn around and I'm looking, and there's one of my homeboys laying on the ground beside me. And I'm like, what the hell is you doing right here? Right? He was messing with us at one time, but he ends up getting caught up because he called himself coming around the back, try to holler at me, you know what I mean, for me to look out for him, and ended up getting jammed up like that. But I get knocked, right? I get knocked. Like I say, some of the names is changed to protect the innocent, but anybody that know me, you probably more than likely know the story. So, ZZ, let's just say ZZ. Hey, ZZ. ZZ happened to stay in this house, right? I mean, it wasn't her house, but ZZ happened to stay in this house, right? ZZ was on the front when they was hitting the door, when they hit the door, right? Now, ZZ could have just said nothing and just watched what was going on just like everybody else. You know what I mean? But that was too much for ZZ to do. So ZZ hollered out of her mouth, "Why is y'all hitting my door like that?" And the officer said, "Oh, we apologize. Oh, this is your house?" And she said, "Yeah, that's my house." He said, "Oh, you got ID in here?" And she said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, can you please come in and get it for me so I can." ZZ was crazy enough to go in the house and go upstairs and retrieve her ID. That's when they gave ZZ a free pair of bracelets, a free pair of bangles. You know what I mean? And ZZ went to the station. You know what I mean? Now, and there was another occupant in the house, the boyfriend of the female whose house it was. He took that ride as well because he wanted to watch cartoons in the stash house. I'm not sure what cartoon he was watching, but he wanted to watch cartoons in the stash house. Yeah. But anyway, we all went down, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I made bail. They didn't. You know what I mean? And I came home. Didn't learn anything in that week and a half. I told this story. I told that part of the story anyway on my homeboy Warpath channel. He did a little interview with me. I did a little interview with him or whatever. You know what I mean? And I told the story about us how I got jammed in the house raid or whatever. And shout out to my boy Warpath. I mean, we ain't been talking like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's mad at the world, mad at me or whatever. But anyway, I still love my homeboy Warpath. You know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for war, I wouldn't be doing this right now. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be putting out my little messages and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? If you lurking in the bushes, you know what I mean, somewhere watching the content or watching the streams or whatever, I still love you, man. You know what I mean? But back to the story. Like I said, that was my bad luck. Like I said, I caught bail. I got out on bail. Was home 10 days. About 10 days, right? And gets booked again. Second time, I don't get a bail, right? I'm stuck. You know what I mean? No bail. Now, that night I got locked up the second time. My homeboy Joe, girlfriend, you know what I mean? We was all tight, right? We was all tight. We was cool. And her birthday was the following night, right? So when I was leaving them, calling myself, go and grab a couple dollars off the block or whatever, she was like, "You know my birthday, you ain't even tell me happy birthday." And I was like, "Man, it ain't even 12 o'clock yet. Your birthday ain't even here yet. What you talking about? You want me to tell you happy birthday early?" You know what I mean? Never got a Niecy. Damn. Rest up, Niecy. You know what I mean? Ain't never get to tell Niecy happy birthday. You know what I mean? Because I got knocked that night. Went back. You know what I mean? Boom. I call home a couple days later or whatever. They tell me that Niecy got shot in the house. You know what I mean? By mistake. You know what I mean? Some old goofy stuff. You know what I mean? Some old goofy stuff. You know what I mean? But then she ended up passing. You know what I mean? She ended up passing. Like I say, the crew just had no luck. My man went. It's like he lost it at this girl passed. You know what I mean? He was just gone. You know what I mean? I ended up sitting for a minute. You know what I mean? Before I could come back out on that original bail or whatever. But I come back home, right? I come back home. They still doing what they doing. I said, I can't do that right now. You know what I mean? Because I already know I get booked again, I'm going back. I ain't going to get no bail. So I'm trying to stay clean as possible. You know what I mean? Until I get this charge taken care of. So my ass went back to work, right? I went back to work. Now, mind you, when I came home, I hadn't been home 2 days, right? I hadn't been home 2 days, right? I'm around the corner hollering at my man Joe, right? And next thing you know, he hollered, yo, wait a minute. That motherfucker owed me $2. No, my bad, not $2. That motherfucker owed me $3, right? It was somebody copping, right? He hollered, dude owed him $3, right? Joe go run down on the dude for $3, right? $3. I'm sitting on Joe's step, the dude in the alley, copping from somebody. Joe go run down there, so I'm thinking he gonna run up on him, and you know what I mean. At the most, you know what I mean. He might punch the dude in the face or something. You know what I mean. I'm sitting on the step, and I hear, you know what I mean. I hear them fussing in the alley. Next thing I know, I hear pop, 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 right? I'm like, nah, right? I'm like, nah, right? Mind you, I ain't even home 3 days yet, right? The block is pretty much clear, you know what I mean? Because it's fall now, so it's getting cool outside. Ain't a whole bunch of people outside. So, you know what I mean? Now, I'm like, I definitely ain't getting up and running, you know what I mean? Because I don't want nobody see, you know what I mean? I see him jets back across the street and run in the alley, you know what I mean? And like back towards the back of the house. Now I'm sitting out this motherfucker by myself, right? So I'm like, I'm not moving because I don't want nobody to see, oh, I seen him running from the scene. Man, long story short, this motherfucker, that shit with his girl had whacked him out so bad, right? That he thought this shit was, you know what I mean? The ambulance and all that shit came, and long story short, dude was gone. You know what I mean? Dude was out of here. You know what I mean? I see my man a couple days later, he got the newspaper and shit. He showing me the article and shit. You know what I mean? Look, yo. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm saying to myself, yo, nigga, I hope you ain't running around just showing, you know what I mean? Showing that to anybody. You know what I mean? Just anybody. You know what I mean? No, yo, I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, long story short, $3. $3, right? $3 cost him the next 15 years, right? Yeah. That's how gone he was, you know what I mean? Whereas though your mind was, I guess his mind wasn't there, but he was always I ain't gonna say a wild for the night type person, because he was a wild for any time of the day type person. You know what I mean? Yeah, straight live wire. You know what I mean? But that's how that went. Boom, he gone to jail. He got 15. You know what I mean? Now, who else? It's not too many people that was messing with our clique. Another one ended up catching a body. You know what I mean? And was gone. It's not too many. It's like everybody that was part of our little clique ended up booked or ended up dead. You know what I mean? Nobody pretty much walked away unscathed. Yeah, well, maybe one, but I mean, it's just, but some of the times that I had with, you know what I mean, doing what we was doing. I mean, it was sometimes that some of the times it was just so crazy, man. I remember one day I had my cousin, one of my cousins was out there with me. And he the type, I love my cousin to death, right? I love him to death, right? You know what I mean? But he's not the toughest piece of steel. You know what I mean? He ain't the toughest piece of steel. You know what I mean? Right, ain't no doubt. Right. You know what I mean? You catch a whole one for $3. You know what I mean? But he done did a whole bunch of stuff. He, like I say, he was straight live wire. You know what I mean? Straight live wire. You know what I mean? But Cuzzo, he would always get full of that. You know what I mean? Get full of that Harrison. You know what I mean? Cuz get full of that Harrison, and get a big old S on his chest, bigger than the real Superman emblem, right? So then he would come through there, or people, you know what I mean, custies would come through, and he would be talking all half slick out his mouth to the custies and stuff like that. And then one day, he didn't know who he was talking to, right? My man come through, straight stick up kid, right? So he come through, you know what I mean, cap. So he get the whams for him, you know what I mean? And he moving all fast, and he drops them on the ground. You know what I mean? Instead of putting them in the man's hand trying to be all fast. So yo was like, oh, you just gonna drop my things on the ground and keep moving? Right. Right, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, and he telling the dude, I ain't do that, da. See, now he got me and other people behind him, so ain't too much gonna happen to him. So he just running off at the mouth, you know what I mean? Not knowing this guy straight, you know what I mean, straight stick up kid. So it's always on him. He always got it on him. You know what I mean? But the fact that I knew him, I'm like, yo, you did drop his joints, man. You know what I mean? You saying you didn't do it, you did do it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just to try to, you know what I mean, calm the joint down, because you did wrong. You know what I mean? That's my man too. You know what I mean? And he ain't gonna do nothing. I can stop that. You know what I mean? But you not gonna be disrespecting people, you know what I mean, just on the strength that, you know what I mean, I got your motherfucking back. You know what I mean? But not knowing, I told him after my man left, I'm like, now had I been not been out here, you might have been an outline. You know what I mean? Had I not been out there to say, yo, that's my people, yo, you know what I mean, and calm that situation down, he might have got chalked that day. You know what I mean? But no, I you know what I mean? It was just, we just had some crazy, when I think back to certain instances, man, it was just, you know how you just, you could think of good times even in the midst of a storm. You know what I mean? It could be pouring down raining and somebody tell a joke that be the funniest thing that you ever heard in your life. You know what I mean? And that just outweighed the storm. You know what I mean? It's just with so many things that went with the good and the good that went with the bad. You know what I mean? Maybe didn't outweigh it. You know what I mean? Maybe didn't outweigh it, but yet it just lightened it a little bit. Yo, check this out, right? Check this out. I do not have the rights to this argument, right? Listen. Yo, can you hear that? Damn, they would start being quiet at us now. Now they done pipe down and shit a little bit. These two motherfuckers across the street from me, they be going at it. Yeah, man, yo, word to life. They be going at it. She was outside, be chasing them with knives and You know what I mean? They cussing each, you know what I mean? Cussing each other out, and she putting the dude out, and I'm sitting outside in the car listening to my music, really not paying them no mind. Next thing I know, he banging on my window. Man, you see what she doing? I'm like, man, that's y'all thing, and it's over there. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's y'all thing, and it's over there. You know what I mean? So you need to go back over there where y'all thing at. I ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to do with the hell you. Look, now they back at it again. Look, here come the people. Now they got the police out there. Dude, I'm telling you, these motherfuckers nutty as a motherfucking fruitcake, man. Right, I'm like, yo, that shit be crazy, bro. It be mad crazy. Yeah. Yeah, you ain't hear when the police car pulled up, he was like, police, right here, right here. I told you. Yeah. Shit, now they knocking on her door. When she seen the police come, she ran back in the house. She probably had a knife outside just then. Yeah, they banging on her door now. They knocking on the motherfucking door. And she just put main man out like last weekend. She just put him out like last weekend. You know what I mean? He ran to my car. Whoa. Shredrat8. What's going on, family? What's going on? Good to see you still around, man. Good to see you still around. You know what I mean? Respect. Right. Yeah, that is an all day thing. But no, that's them two nutballs across the street, man. That's them two nutty ass motherfuckers across the street, man. That's what they do. That's what they do. You know how motherfucker get that drink in them. Motherfucker get that drink in them and then be fighting and shit. And like I say, she put him out last week. She put his ass out last week and called his mother all kind of bitches and told him she was gonna call his mother and tell him what a bitch she raised and all this type of shit. I'm sat in the car long and I say, shit, this is way more interesting than Biggie. You know what I mean? I turned the fucking music down and started listening to them two crazy motherfuckers. Real shit. Yeah, they be at it all day, man. I had one of the I can't remember what video it was. I was sitting in the car doing the video and the motherfucker dude, his mother, some other people across the street. His mother was sitting out there with her boyfriend smoking weed in her son's car. So he come outside to get ready to get in the car to go home, and his whole car smelled like weed. So he flipping, right? He flipping. He trying to fight the mother boyfriend, and you know what I mean. And he grabbed his mother up. She trying to jump between him and dude, and he grabs his mom up and choking his mom, and you know what I mean. I'm like, man, this shit. You know what I mean? Some of this shit I see, man, you can't, you couldn't write it. You know what I mean? You couldn't sit down and write it. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. But I wouldn't try to put the shit, you know what I mean? I wasn't going to throw nobody on no motherfucking camera for the sake of a fucking view. You know what I mean? But if you interrupting my live, then so be it. Yeah, but you already know what it is, Doug. You already know how B more get down, man. You know how B more get down. Ain't nothing changed, and I don't think ain't nothing changing. You know what I mean? What you in Florida, Shred? Oh, not at all, man. Not at all. Not at all. Cause it's a whole it's definitely a whole new generation, and they on some. We ain't got nothing on them. You know what I mean? We ain't got nothing on them. Our antics. You know what I mean? Their antics far outweigh ours. Oh, okay. Where in Missouri? You from the Lou? Right, right. Boy, without a doubt. Oh, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Look at this midget. You just be wanting to be. You just be wanting to sneak on pop live. What you want? What you need? What you need? What you want? A Band-Aid?
I need it.
You want what?
I need it.
A who?
I need it for right here.
You need it from right there.
Yeah.
You couldn't record, could you?
No, I'm live. She want a Band-Aid. You need something on your forehead. Your forehead breaking out.
Pull it
Well,
pull it
Probably used them all. Here. Take it with you, kid.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a nobody closed my door. Nobody closed doors. Yeah, I had a this guy I used to work for. I mean, work under doing cable. I mean, he was from St. Louis, but I'm more than certain St. Louis don't breed the type of people this guy was. He was a he was a real piece of work, man. He was a real piece of work. He was I don't know, but I guess you know what I mean. You know how you could tell. I mean, if you got any experience with certain elements, like Chappelle said to do the Rick James skits and shit, and cocaine is a hell of a drug type thing. You could tell this motherfucker was on that cocaine, and he was gone because he was always doing, you know what I mean, shiesty shit. You know what I mean, stealing shit from the company and trying to blame it on other people, and you know what I mean. Long story short, I was, you know what I mean, contracting under him, and this motherfucker went somewhere else, and I go to get my last 2 checks, and the motherfuckers told me that this motherfucker done stole $4,000 worth of goddamn cable equipment and say he brought it in the field to me. So I lost almost $2,000 between my last 2 checks because of this shit. Because of this shit this motherfucker did, man. He was a wild one. He tried to. I mean, everything that would happen, he would see shit that happened in Baltimore and was like he was so fucked up in the head about it. Yo, why they do stuff like this? Why they do stuff like that? But then you was doing shiesty type shit, you know what I mean, that was gonna put you in a bag. And like I say though, they must be a different breed in St. Louis or something. Whereas though I've never known nowhere where you can just violate people and it ain't no, you know what I mean, repercussions. How old you is, Doug? See, I guess you gotta, you know what I mean, you come through, you know what I mean, you come through more so as a more, you know what I mean, seasoned individual, you know what I mean? Okay, well then you well, Yeah, but you talking about, see, your generation, you fall like, you can't consider you with the generation of the ones that's like 20 in their 20s and shit like that, because you know what I mean, that I would say that the ones that's actually on them pills hard like that, they more so teenage, late teens to like 20, you know what I mean, mid 20s. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them, just like you said, the average, they don't, you know what I mean, they don't even think about fucking 24. You dig what I'm saying? So they look at, right, just like you say, they call you an old head because they look at, you know what I mean, they don't even think past 25. You know what I mean? Right, exactly. Right, that's what they call. That's why they call them millennials. You know what I mean? The millennials think everything's supposed to be handed to them. Everything's supposed to be free. You know what I mean? Like I say, it's a kind of fucked up generation. You know what I mean? It's like entitlement. You know what I mean? What's going on, Johnny James? Johnny Legs. You thought I forgot? What's going on, Johnny Legs? Right. I can understand. Yeah, I mean, you say you jump off the porch at 11. Hey, it was around about the same age. It was around about the same age. You know what I mean? But I jumped off the porch around that age. But I had a kind of strange upbringing. You know what I mean? I had a step pops. I'm in the household with my step pops and my moms. You know what I mean? But I still had that relationship with my pops. You know what I mean? So my pops was a man. It ain't get no realer. You know what I mean? It ain't get no realer than pops. You know what I mean? He was on some. You know what I mean? It might not have been the traditional upbringing, but I got everything I needed to know from. You know what I mean? Wisdom to survival. You know what I mean? He gave me all that. You know what I mean? Hey, man. Hey, salute to you just for that, brother. Salute for, hey, we all got a path. You know what I mean? We all got a path, bro. We all got a path that we got to walk in order to get to our greatness, bro. We all got a path we got to walk in order to walk into our greatness, bro. Facts. Facts. Big facts. You hear me? That's why I say, I say my grandmoms, my pop's mother. You know what I mean? When I was younger, you know what I mean? It'd be like you hear things from older people and you might not pick up on it until years later, you know, and she told me you never look down on nobody because a person just because a person is one way today doesn't mean that they have to be that way tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? And I ain't get that. You know what I mean? I didn't get it, you know what I mean, till years later. You know what I mean? Joe's ball? Come on, my guy. The Heights? The Heights? Come on, O'Donnell Heights, bro. Joe's, you say on Rice's Town and Amos Ave. Oh, I thought you was talking about Joe's over by like going towards Dundalk. Joe's by, you say Rice's Town and Amos Ave. Where the hell is Amos Ave? That must be all the way up the top. No, I was talking about O'Donnell Heights, like going like towards Dundalk. They got a bar out there that been there for a while called Joe's Tavern. I thought you was talking about that. But you say you talking about on Rice's Town. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it got to be further up. I mean, what's I'm trying to figure out where Amos Ave is. What's that's closer to? It's past. I mean, it's past Northern Parkway because I remember you say you around Rice's Town and Northern Parkway area, right? Right? Yeah, I know exactly where that's at. Oh, Shred. Let me. Oh, okay. Well, that's right there. I probably seen it right there by the Hold on for a minute, Shred. Right there by you talking, Doug. You talking about right there by where there's a little strip mall. There's a little strip mall right there. Like right there where fuck it right. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Right across the street from the little strip mall. Right. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Right there by DMV, by motor vehicles. Somebody playing with me, right? I ain't got my brush. She touched it. So whoever's saying let's see them waves, you know what I mean? Hey Doug, hey Doug, check it out, right? I'm pull the joint off, right? I'm pull the joint off, but I was messing with the peoples yesterday, right? And I did my last live, right? I watched it on the playback, and I'm like, my waves was sitting, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, I got my 360 going on without no grease or when I say product, right? Just dry with a brush, right? Now, we was having a debate, right? When I say I got 360 going on. 360 just means you have waves on the side, top, and back, right? They try to tell me they didn't see my waves, right? So I had them take pictures from all sides of my head. And you can clearly see them in the pictures, but they wouldn't give me my glory, right? So absolutely stretched. What you trying to say? I'm stretching the truth? What you trying to say? I'm stretching the truth? You can't handle the truth. But Shred. No, they ain't gotta connect. They ain't gotta connect. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about. But Shred, as far as Rabbit go, I heard Rabbit doing bad, man. I heard Rabbit doing real bad, man. And it's kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up that I can't see how you can and maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me cuz anybody I deal with, if I deal with you, I deal with you, right? And that's regardless of what you might go through. You might have a bad patch somewhere and might not be doing too good or whatever. Even if I don't even if I'm not around you every day, I still deal with you. Right. You know what I mean? Trust me, anybody that know that life, he's gonna remind you of somebody. You know what I mean? And the fact that everybody wanna be in my life. You know what I mean? In some way or another. You know what I mean? And that's my security. You know what I mean? And,
top flight.
He, if say like you done made money off him, right? He was part of his whole thing. And from what I seen, a lot of the people say like when he did mail and shit that, oh, we got mail. If you pay attention to it, people sent more shit to Rabbit than any of them, right? So that tells you right there that the audience, you know what I mean, more so took the rabbit than any of the rest of them. You know what I mean? So that means that more of your audience connected with him. So therefore, you made more of your money off a rabbit more so than anybody. You know what I mean? And people started asking about rabbit more so than anybody else. And just to know that you made money off of that man, you know what I mean? And then when you can't make money off him no more because he in a bad way, right? You know what I mean? He in a bad way, you just gonna leave him? You know what I mean? You just leave him out in the cold? That's fucked up, man. And just like I say, people noticed it. You know what I mean? People noticed it. And that's why his views are like they are, man. That's people started seeing the fakeness in them. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? You can't deny fake shit. You know what I mean? You can't. People can tell real from fake. You know what I mean? And like I say, he's doing some things right now that, you know what I mean, that I'm not too. He go back to the things that he's a user, man. Just put it like that. And I can understand it to a degree, because once it's just like an addict. You know what I mean? Once you have that mentality, you just put that mentality into another aspect, and that's what he's doing. He has that fucking that dope thing mentality, and he's using it on this YouTube platform. I can use this person. I can use this person. This person will get my views up, and this person will get my views up. Right. Right. And see, a lot of people took, like when I used to do the yeah, man. Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Cause it's I was just talking about it yesterday. It's nothing like the regular, you know what I mean? The regular, because you can't, you know what I mean? The regular was the same way. But when you're dealing with something that can be possibly 100 times fucking stronger, you got to play with it in order to get it to the right, you know what I mean, consistency, whereas though you ain't dropping motherfuckers. And in order to do that, somebody got to be the fucking crash test dummy. You know what I mean? Somebody got to be the crash test dummy in order for you to get it right. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy. Yeah, man. I remember you telling me that see, I remember at one point that whole fent thing back in the day when it first touched, like Baltimore. It touched Baltimore back in the 90s first, right? It touched Baltimore in the 90s first. Did the same shit, did the same thing, right? You know what I mean? But back then, they wasn't even using it as a medicine for humans. You know what I mean? It was strictly for animals. You know what I mean? They was using that as a sedative it was an animal train. You know what I mean? Back then. But they started using it on people after the epidemic, you know what I mean, got real bad, and then regular Percocets and shit like that wasn't strong enough for like cancer patients and shit like that. Then they started using fent on the cancer patients and shit like that. You know what I mean? But at one point it was just used as a fucking tranquilizer for fucking animals, man. Right. But like I say, man, trust me, man. It's so much bullshit tied into that whole thing, man. Trust me, if you wanted to, if motherfucker wanted to stop this shit, man, trust and believe me, they could put a stop to it. Trust and believe me. because it gets over here. You know what I mean? It gets over here. You know what I mean? Right, and that's what I say. You, if a motherfucker make the cost of it so fucking high, a motherfucker will find other alternatives. Either you're gonna stop because you cannot afford it. You know what I mean? Just like they doing with marijuana, they taxing that shit. You know what I mean? Tax that shit. You know what I mean? Put a tax on it. Whereas though for every goddamn $6 to $10 you spend, you gotta pay $20 in tax on it. And see how quick that shit slow down. See how quick it slow down. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's why they just imagine. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about far as I'm talking about Johnny, I'm talking about in the form of illicit. You know what I mean? If you tax that shit, you know what I mean? The same way they doing marijuana. You see, you can't even register your shit and put your shit in the bank. It's cash. You know what I mean? The banks won't even hold the money from the marijuana. You do the same shit with that motherfucking opiates and shit like that, but you put a strong ass tax on it, it'll cut down on a lot of that. You'd be surprised how many motherfuckers would stop because they can't afford that shit, and for a $6, you know what I mean? I gotta spend an extra fucking $20 in taxes. Okay, like I said, you stop the motherfucking demand. You stop the demand, and the motherfucking supply becomes worthless. Right, right. But see, with that, if you use the methadone, once you get them on that, then you gotta have a some type of process to get them off as well. You know what I mean? Whereas though it don't turn into a lifetime bid. You know what I mean? But trust me, it could be done, man, the same way. But it ain't. It's no money in stopping it. There's no money in stopping it. You know that shit coming on ports and planes and shit like that. You know how many people get paid just by turning their back? Exactly. 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 You cut the motherfucking like I say the if it's there legally, you will have motherfuckers getting it legally. You know what I mean? Those that can afford to spend the money like that would probably be still buying it legally. Those that can't afford it, a lot of them would clean their shit up. You know what I mean? A lot of them would clean their motherfucking shit up. They wouldn't have a choice. Yeah, I mean, it would always be. You would still always have one or two that would still have that illegal, but it wouldn't be as widespread as it is now. You dig what I'm saying? Whereas though you wouldn't see that shit on every corner. You would have to look for it. You know what I mean? And just happen to look for it and not be able to get it all the time would become tiresome. And some motherfuckers would, you know what I mean, get it together. Word? Real shit? You say you ain't seen not one person do it? And you say you in Australia? Do they have them kind of clinics and shit like that over there? Word. Just like on some like a 3-day shit, just a detox joint. And then you on your own. Yeah, I mean, I think you got some people that would still do that, Doug. But I do think that the majority would probably get taught and discouraged and shit just on the fact that they would have to spend more money on the government than the product. You know what I mean? Hey, trust and believe me, brother. You ain't by yourself. You ain't by yourself. You are not by yourself, bro. You are not by yourself. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Right, and that's like I say. You see, the only thing with it is they pussyfooting with it. They pussyfooting with it because they don't want it to seem like, oh, we America. We don't want to encourage that. But back in the day, they had shit called reefer madness. Oh, you smoke reefer and you like reefer was like weed was the hardest drug on the face of the earth. Look how many people they sentenced to jail that were sitting in prison for life because of weed not even 30 years ago, but now it's legal. You know what I mean? I hear that shit. I hear that shit. I hear that shit. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, because it's not really meant for long term. It's not really meant for long term. You know what I mean? That's why that's what a lot of people don't know, but that's a lot of them just jump into it because they can get it free. You know what I mean? And it beats spending the money. You know what I mean? The leg work, the money, and all that. Yeah, you know what? You know what? Well, far as that the opiate thing, the dome probably is worse than than that H. You know what I mean? But far as that zany, far as that zany, let me tell you something. That's how I ended up. You know what I mean? With fucking pneumonia, man. I ended up with fucking pneumonia, fucking with them goddamn Xanax back in the day. I had fucking double pneumonia. You know what I mean? Running around with that shit and didn't even fucking know it until it got so fucking bad. The motherfucker told me if I hadn't got to the fucking hospital when I did, I probably have been dead before the next day. Word. Real shit. Real shit. You know what I mean? And I was mixing it with that butt naked. You know what I mean? Zanny and butt naked. You know what I mean? It was some wild times. Right? Hey, brother. That's what I used to do. That's what I used to do with it. Straight with the motherfucking H. You know what I mean? Done. You know what I mean? I say you could hold a motherfucking gun in my head and say do that shit now. You had to blow my fucking brains out. Real shit. But I feel you on that. You know what I mean? You talking about mixing them. You know what I mean? Because I used to crush them. You know what I mean? Crush them and mix them. You know what I mean? With the oh right, I feel you. You would take them like you were supposed to take them, but they not no fucking joke. I used to call them motherfuckers. They would call them forget me nots. You take them motherfuckers, man. Motherfuckers done told me. So I'd be under the influence of that shit. You know what I mean? Right. I feel you. Right. As I. As I. You know what I mean? As I. The truth is always the light. You know what I mean? As I. You know what I mean? The shit, I would, you know what I mean? Right. Hell yeah, because just like I say, that shit would have you so fucking gone, man. Like I said, I would come outside and motherfuckers be like, man, what the fuck was wrong with you yesterday? Why the fuck you do da-da-da-da-da? And I'm looking at them like they fucking crazy because I ain't got a clue. I don't have a clue as to what the hell they talking about. You know what I mean? Because motherfucker was so gone. You know what I mean? I had motherfuckers telling me that, you know what I mean, I was getting ready to do this to him and do that to him, you know what I mean? And I couldn't remember shit. That's why you got a lot of these motherfucking young people out here now that's doing shit. Trust me. Once they get booked and they sitting in that motherfucking central booking and they come down off of that shit, you know what I mean? Half of them don't even know what the hell they did. You know what I mean? Half of them don't even know why the fuck they there. How about it? How about it? I don't fuck with the barbershop. I don't fuck with the barbershop. I've been cutting my own hair since I was like 13. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. Yeah. The motherfuckers tear you up, man. That's what I used to call them. They used to call them motherfuckers forget me nots, man. You fuck around and don't know what you did the day before. At all. You know what I mean? I don't know how many motherfucking lights I didn't pull up to a motherfucking light and be gone. You know what I mean? Be gone. You know what I mean? Hey man, it must fit you. You know what I mean? It must fit you. I feel you though. Cause I had dreads, man. Before I cut my dreads was all the way down my back, man. My dreads was all the way down my fucking back, man. I cut my dreads about maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I probably would have been walking on them motherfuckers had I not cut them. I couldn't do it. That shit was, my posture already fucked up. You know what I mean? That shit was just, you know what I mean? Fuck with my goddamn back even more. Them shits was too long. People was like, won't you just cut some of it off? And I was like, fuck it. I just took all the motherfuckers off. I just took it all off. I actually still got them. Still got the motherfuckers in a bag. My daughter was like, won't you donate them? Donate your hair to charity. Donate them to charity and shit. They make wigs, you know what I mean, for cancer patients and stuff like that. I said I was going to do it, but I keep forgetting. Yeah, my mom's, because I used to have it dreads, and I used to have my dreadlocks braided. My wife she would braid them after she would do the maintenance on my shit. I would leave them out for like a day just so they can get air, and then let her braid them up and shit, because them shits was so long. I let her braid them up to shorten the length a little bit. Yeah, man, but this whole goddamn thing, this shit be crazy, man. This shit be crazy. Well, like the younger people, man, and I've been trying to tell. You know what I mean? Like I tell uh, uh some of the kids sometimes. That's how I think. That's how a motherfucker be, bro. That's how a motherfucker be. You be, you be. I did the same thing, man. I did the same thing, but the motherfucker played me, cause I know I barely tapped. I barely tapped the person card, man. And they got out and gave me the motherfucking the riot act. They lawyers and all this old goofy shit. I'm like, man, y'all crazy. Man, trust me. Right? Right? Been there too. Been there too. Yeah, but like I tell the fucking doctor, Johnny, I tell the doctor, my primary care doctor, man, every time I go, if I talk to her or gotta see her for a schedule, you know what I mean, visit or whatever, every time it's like every time I go to her, she trying to put me on something different. You know what I mean? To one point, I told her, I'm like, y'all fucking legal drug dealers. I said, you a fucking drug dealer. You know what I mean? And she tried to tell me that she wasn't a drug dealer. And I had to break it down to her. I was like, well, y'all sell medicine, right? I said, everything that y'all push on to us, right, it has to be approved by the FDA. I said, what does FDA stand for? Right? It stands for Food and Drug Administration, right? Keyword being food and drug. You know what I mean? Drug. So you're a drug dealer, right? You know what I mean? But you can't put us in the same. Why can't I? Pharmaceutical companies give you a product and you have to sell it to people. You're no different than the person on the corner, except they label you as legal. They label you it as being legal for you to do it. You know what I mean? But you're a drug dealer, plain and simple. Yeah. And just like I say, just think about it, bro. At one point, so was alcohol. Alcohol was, you know what I mean, prohibited at one time. Marijuana was. It's just all about them figuring out a way to tax that shit, man. But it's just, it's too big of an epidemic. At one point, fucking, they sold fucking heroin, you know what I mean, in the pharmacy. Back in the day. Actual fucking heroin. You know what I mean? Until motherfuckers start abusing it, and then they had to pull it off, and then they labeled it oxycodone, hydrocodone. You know what I mean? But it was all the fucking same. Yeah, yeah, man. But far as rap, yeah, I heard yo treating that man real bad, man. He's treating him real bad. I heard. Now I don't know how true it is. I don't know how true it is, but I hear the man is homeless. You know what I mean? I hear he homeless and all that shit, man. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I mean, they get to a point where I understand where as though you can't make somebody straighten up or whatever, but at the same time, if you wouldn't be in the position you in, you know what I mean, had it not been for this person, how do you just completely turn your back on them? I ain't saying, you know what I mean, you spoon feeding them, blah, 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 blah. Even if you ain't do nothing, but make sure that man had a roof over his head. You know what I mean? You fucking with a goddamn guy. You on camera with a fucking guy that rent rooms. You know what I mean? You can't make up some kind of deal with main man so that man not on the street. That's the least you can do. Even if you ain't give him no money for his pocket. You know what I mean? You could at least get him a fucking room. You know what I mean? He's just a wild boy, man. He's just a wild boy. And I don't even really like to keep dwelling on them and shit like that. But I just see, I mean, I see what I see. I tend to see things, you know what I mean, that tend to end up coming to light, man. Because with his personality being what it is, you know, what I mean, what do you think? Come on, man. Joe ain't just up and decide, oh, I want to go to Baltimore. You know what I mean? Even though somebody contacted him about Main Man or whatever, Lenny or whatever. You calling it Baghdad, Baltimore, but you want to come down here. I want to come down and start coming down and tapping in some people. You know what I mean? I could see some bad shit happening to him, man. If he come down here with that bullshit and start trying to fuck over people. You know what I mean? When people get that shit in their head, you know what I mean, and they done did it so much, you know what I mean, to other people, and they get the feeling like, well, shit, this my thing. This what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? And you can't. This ain't the place for that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I understand he did that wasn't, you know what I mean, that they really didn't have no ties, but after y'all started, you know what I mean, doing shit together, you know what I mean, and he helping your fucking channel grow. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. When it's certain shit, to be honest, right, exactly. And it was like, for real, the fucking audience, you know what I mean, people that turned into his shit should have never seen Rabbit in that condition, man. You know what I mean? Should have never seen Rabbit in that condition, man. Like I say, he exploited that man's, you know what I mean, whole condition, man. You know what I mean? He could have just picked him up, you know what I mean? Oh, he even if you put it out there that he's in treatment, you know what I mean? But you didn't have to put the camera on him, you know what I mean? And put that man in front of hundreds of thousands of people, you know what I mean, at his worst. You dig what I'm saying? That right there, knowing, you know what I mean, him seeing himself, people seeing him like that maybe that he was actually fooling and shit like that. You know what I mean? That shit probably did more harm than good. You know what I mean? Right. But like I say, you know what I mean? And the videos and shit. Then when he come out the joint and he had to stay, you know what I mean? And Joe was out of town. And he left him in the hotel room with fucking Jared, man. Anybody who watched that fucking video, man, could tell that Jared was high as a fucking ham sandwich, man, in that video. You know what I mean? Anybody that fucking know could tell he was high off his ass in that video, man. You know what I mean? And you gonna leave him, you know what I mean, in the fucking hotel room. But man, they got high as a motherfucker that night, man. You ain't gonna tell me shit. You ain't gonna tell me shit. He might have got him to the motherfucking spot, but they got high as a motherfucker that night. Right. Right, man. That's what I say. He knew he made a bunch of bad decisions, man. So he got to take part of the take part of the blame, man. He got to take part of that blame, man. You know what I mean? He got to take part of that blame for that shit not working, man. You left that man in the fucking room with Jared. You know what I mean? I don't know how that shit would have panned out. You know what I mean? Had he not been in the room partying and shit the day before he went into the so-called long-term program. You know what I mean? You went in that motherfucker high. You know what I mean? You went in there high. So them 3 days, 4 days that you was in the detox joint, getting that shit out your system, that got fucked up that night. You know what I mean? Between you and Jared. You know what I mean? So of course, you go in the motherfucker, fresh off of being fucking high the night before, of course you're gonna have it in your head you don't want to be there. That shit crazy, man. But like I say, he got a lot of, but of course he's not gonna take no responsibility. You know what I mean? He shouldn't have put the camera in his face coming out the spot. You putting that man on the fucking, you putting added pressure to that man. You know what I mean? Cleaning up in itself, you know what I mean, is a task where you got to be focused. You know what I mean? You got to be completely focused on the task at hand. You got him worrying about entertaining people, you know what I mean, instead of really, you know what I mean? You know, oh, you already know, bro. You tapped in. You know what I mean? You tapped in. I appreciate the fact, you know what I mean, that y'all tapped in and shit, and I ain't sitting here talking to the motherfucking light in the camera by my goddamn self. You understand what I'm saying? Shit, you not, and I'm on here talking to, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I got hometown Doug, and then I got Johnny Legs, you know what I mean, from all the way out in Australia, you know what I mean, and then I had Shredrat8, you know what I mean, from Missouri, you know what I mean. I'm blessed in the motherfucker, you know what I mean. I'm blessed in the motherfucker. We gonna figure all that shit out, man. I'm playing with shit right now, Doug. You know I don't know this shit, man. you know y'all don't know this shit, man. I don't even know how to fucking put. You see the fucking, I do the live and shit. That shit end up on the motherfucking on my page and shit. That shit don't even have a title on it or nothing. That shit don't have a title or nothing. I'm still playing with this shit. Oh, you already know. You can bet your last. You'll definitely be the. That's for fucking sure. Exactly. 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 It was all about fucking views. He even said it out his fucking mouth, man. He even said it out of his mouth. On one of the videos, he said, I got a video about Rabbit. You know what I mean? I'm more than sure this one gonna get the views. I mean, these was his words. I'm more than certain that this is gonna get the views. And it was talking, that was when they was talking about his shit, about him getting high and shit. Him treatment, with his treatment shit and all that. He said it out of his mouth. This one gonna be sure to get the views. So that's what you worried about. You're not worrying about that man, you know what I mean, health and shit like that. You worrying about fucking views. You worrying about fucking income. I mean, money generating and shit off of that man fucking pain. It's fucking undeniable, man. But like I say, you sit there with 1 point something million fucking subscribers, but then you put out a fucking video and you be lucky if you get 30,000 fucking views with 1 million something fucking subs. Most of the motherfuckers that was following you seeing you for who the fuck you are. And they not feeling that shit. So now he's feeling out other shit. You know what I mean? The same way with Banky. You know what I mean? And I fucks with Banky. You know what I mean? But you see how when Banky wanted to do his own thing, Joe wasn't feeling that shit. Joe wasn't feeling that shit. Even though he couldn't tell a man no, because whether or not Joe helped him or not, he was going to do it. You know what I mean? He didn't really fucking help Banky with shit. You know what I mean? As far as his fucking channel. You know what I mean? Banky and his peoples put that shit together. They sell. Joe might have gave him a fucking laptop, an old laptop or something like that. But as far as helping him like that and shit, he ain't really helped Banky with that shit, man. Nah, bro. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. Right. Trust me. If you get out and do some walking around and it's nobody, trust me, it won't be nobody nowhere near other than the person that he's talking to from here. You know what I mean? If he goes in an area where it's, you know what I mean, a nice amount of people, it's more than likely going to end bad. You know what I mean? It's more than likely going to end bad, man. But he know that. Like I say, if you paid attention, I pay attention to a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like I say, when he pulled up at that apartment building down there on fucking Belvedere, you know what I mean? The first thing that was in his shot was the police car. You know what I mean? First thing was in the shot was the police car. So it wouldn't surprise me none. You know what I mean? With 1 point something million subs or whatever, I'm quite sure he got people here that follow him. You know what I mean? That he might have been able to tap into somebody. The motherfucker that was sitting in the police car might watch his fucking videos. I'll look out for you. I'll look out for you while you down here. Make sure nobody don't take your fucking camera. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You on fucking Belvedere? Yeah, okay. Now how about people saying about the camera like he the fucking police or something? Come on, bro. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Like I say, and people can take constructive criticism for hate and shit, and it don't even be that. It don't even be that. But when it's because motherfuckers, like I say, he started out with good intentions. Yeah, without a doubt, I fuck with Banky. You know what I mean? But Joe started out with good intentions, man. But once that bag came, but that's just like, right. Know what I mean? G-Man too. You know what I mean? Exactly. Once that bag came, that bag always tank shit, man. You know what I mean? You can have something that start out, you know what I mean, wholesome and shit. You know what I mean? Organic. But as soon as that bag come into play, then your motivation to keep doing it switches from, you know what I mean, just doing good to generating more income. You know what I mean? And then you forget why the fuck you doing it. Now you just doing it for the bag. You know what I mean? And just like I say, you see he doing the podcast and shit, and you doing the shit with Banky. You know what I mean? And I know this shit. Why, you know what I mean? It comes up on Joe's channel first. I'm not sure how many days it be on Joe's shit first before Banky puts it up on his channel. You know what I mean? Why can't they both put it up at the same time? You know what I mean? y'all both, you know what I mean, doing this together supposedly. Why that man can't put the podcast up at the same time you do it? Because you feel like he gonna steal some of the views. You wanna get the views before, you know what I mean. You wanna get most of the views before he get them. You know what I mean? Shit be wild, man. Like I say, he you know what I mean, and actually him going back and fucking with Banky, it was kind of like a savior type thing. He didn't do the podcast thing. You know what I mean? The far as them talking to people and shit like that until he went and started fucking with Banky again like that. You know what I mean? So I don't think that shit would have even jumped off like that. So really you're using, you know what I mean? You're using the people that Banky actually brought to the table, you know what I mean, on his own. You trying to grab them, you know what I mean, by doing the thing with him and shit. But I mean, I heard some shit, some other shit, but I'm not even going to speak on that. You know what I mean? Because that person might not want me to, you know what I mean, speak on it. But no, I mean, it's just like I say, you know what I mean. I just hope, you know what I mean. But it have been, you know what I mean. I guess the little podcast thing they've been doing together or whatever, it been helping Banky out some more and shit. You know what I mean? They've been getting some more eyes on his shit. His channel been growing like that. But it also is another revenue stream for Joe. You know what I mean? But like I say, it's all watch what happens. You can see if you really watch him, man, you can see you can see right through the bullshit. Right, right. You know what I mean? Right. But like I say, he ain't gonna play with him. Joe ain't gonna play with Banky. You know what I mean? Joe ain't gonna play with Banky like he played with fucking the rest of them, Rabbit and Dave and what's his name? The one he come talking about the man and shit. That man catch a charge and shit, and you on your shit talking about car parts. You know what I mean? Why is you putting that, whether it's fucking public knowledge or not? Why is you on your shit making fun of that man? That's supposed to be your man at one time. I keep fucking for. I can always keep on saying Jericho. Ain't no fucking Jericho. Jellicoe. You know what I mean? He catch a charge and shit. You talking about car parts, making fun of the man and shit. You know what I mean? Hey, come on, Doug. You on my IG too, bro. You on my IG, bro. You all know I know who you are, bro. You know what I mean? Once I get this shit together, you know what I mean? Like I said, I gotta fuck around and stop bullshitting and grow my family, man. I gotta grow my family, man. Cause I ain't got subscribers around here, man. I got family over here. Now when I put that shit in my videos, we family over here. That's big facts and shit. You hear me? Fuck a sub. Fuck a subscriber. I got family over here. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, damn, I done been on this motherfucker almost 2 hours, running my motherfucking mouth. I'm glad y'all stuck around with me, with me on a Friday and shit. Y'all could have been anywhere in the motherfucking world. But y'all stuck around and hung with the mind of Major on a fucking Friday. God damn it, we damn sure family over here, man. I got motherfucking Missouri family. I got Australia family. I got B-more family. Shit, they ain't tapped in yet, but we even got some family all the way over in England. You know what I mean? We got some family in Canada, and I'm not even at 200 family members yet. You know what I mean? I ain't had nobody hit me from China yet. I had some Latin family tap in. You know what I mean? At one point on the videos. You know what I mean? You already know, Johnny. You already know. You already know. You know what I mean? We gonna build this thing up. We gonna build it up and wreck some shit. You know what I mean? We gonna build it up and wreck some shit on YouTube. You know what I mean? And see, it be hard because a lot of the videos and shit like that, they be trying to, you know what I mean, slow a lot of the videos down and shit like that. So a lot of the people don't get that real. You know what I mean? But as long as I take a couple real ones over a bunch of fake ones anytime. You hear me? I take a few real ones over a bunch of fake ones anytime. Goddamn neighbors at it again. I guess they in for round 10. They going. The motherfuckers do not stop. They do not stop. They do not motherfucking stop. God damn it. Alright, I'm about ready. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's their asses, man. That's their asses. They ain't going to shut it down no time soon. They ain't going to shut shit down no time soon. Now their loud asses done got goddamn car alarms going on. He hollering she threw a bottle at him. Where the fuck is my car parked at? I don't think he don't sound like he's standing by my car. I don't even know, bro, but it's late. It's like fucking shit. I don't even fucking know what time is it. Oh, it's like 11 o'clock. It's 10:58. Yeah, I'm about ready to jump off of this motherfucker. I don't know. I might hop back on tomorrow sometime and shit. My ass got to work at 7 in the morning and shit. I'm all ready to lay my motherfucking crazy ass down some motherfucking way. Hopefully I can sleep through this bullshit with them. You know what I mean? I'm gonna wrap this one up, family. Like I say, thanks again and salute to my Missouri, my B-more, and my Australian family that tapped in with me tonight. You heard? You know what I mean? To the next time, y'all. 2 in the air. See how I fuck around. Don't know how to work this shit.
What?
I can't even turn the motherfucker off. Y'all coming in and fucking with me.